Aloha, and welcome to 6 Questions with a Legend. I'm here with one of my childhood heroes and one of my idols when I was growing up. And as I got older, he ended up being my judges in forms and fighting. And to this very day, I still wanted to emulate and follow in his footsteps. And I am so happy to have with us today Grand Master Al Dacascos.
But I tell you, it's been a journey.
It has been a journey, and I've grown up and watched your journey and seen your successes, your layers of success. It's like a layer of an onion, and you still look great. I know you're training, and just very proud to be here with you today.
Thank you.
Let's start back in Hawaii, because you are one of the founders of Kajukenpo Kundo. So, what year did you actually start your martial arts training, and with whom?
The minute we come out of our mother's womb, we're already kicking and punching. We're doing our first ki, okay? And it's fact. That thing just stays with us until we die, and when we die, we open our hands. So as a martial artist, we've been training martial arts ever since birth to death. But when you talk about formal training, well, it's pretty difficult because, we grew up in Hawaii, and I grew up on a plantation. When my grandpa was practicing eskrima and kali, I didn't know what it was. We just did it, just go around hitting each other in the head with sticks. That was the norm, you see. But eventually, got away from the sticks and everything else that way, because during that time, it was almost derogatory if you were a Filipino at that time living in Hawaii, because we were known for Filipinos all-time pok knife,
Yeah.
And it was derogatory because they think that that's all we did, but it wasn't so. So that's where I got more heavy into the Chinese arts.
I see. So you inadvertently wanted to break the stereotype. Okay. So what attracted you to the martial arts when you were young?
Well, I think let's reverse that, because actually what attracted me was not being ready for it, because I was going to, a Catholic school when I was younger, going through a Buddhist school, which was a place called Likaliki. I had a lot of kids young there, okay?
Yeah.
So on my way to school, what happened is just that this kid used to use me as a judo bag. So I ended up getting introduced to martial arts as being their judo. Throwing. Okay?
Yeah.
That wasn't so funny because our uniform at that time was blue pants and white shirt, and white shirt always came back with some kind of blood. So in other words, it became like you had to defend yourself. And if actually my mind was at that time like okay, I got to beat this next time around, but you're going to come around the corner and I'm going to be throwing stones at you. And of course, martial arts is where it began. I had that experience of the Philippine fighting arts, but anytime we pick up a stick, a stone, or a knife, we were already bad. So we couldn't do that. You say you got to be, those days, no, you got to fight with the hands.
And unfortunately, now it's guns.
Now we don't
and knives, and anything goes.
That's right.
Yeah, there's no more such a thing as clean fighting anymore. But I know your current style, and you're an innovator of Kundo. So from the Kajukenpo system, how did you transition to developing your style of Kundo? I remember seeing you as a child. You were at, I believe, Wang Jiapan's studio?
Yes.
And my studio, when I was a young boy, was across the street at YC Wong's, down in the basement. But we used to see you tooling around Chinatown, my dad and I. So, how did you conceptualize Kundo?
Well, just realize the term Kundo, all it means is expression. Yep. And if you understand, and you've got the experience with the word Kajukenpo, then you understand Kajukenpo stands for karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, ken, kenpo, and all Chinese boxing. Now, theoretically, there's supposed to be 5 founders that formed that, but that's not true. Okay? The Black Belt Society, as they were called, were only 2 black belts there, and the third one was another one that came in 1961. So when they say that the period of 1947 to 1949 as being the area that the Black Belt Society was formed with the 5 original founders, that's not true at all.
That came later.
That came later, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm doing a book which is called the Evolution of Kajukenpo, Revelation to Revolution, okay? Because you see this, it's a growth. And everybody goes through that. Now, when I got involved with Kajukenpo, at that particular time, we were just pretty much hardcore, just Kempo karate, okay?
It was mostly fighting. Not a lot of forms until the Tuan Fa came into play.
Right, you see? And eventually, they say the 5 original founders of Kajukenpo from 1947 up to 1949. Yeah, you can say that. But that's a short period. It's only 2 years. If you take Kajukenpo from 1947 to up to now, there were actually 7 of us. The 5 first founders, they were El De La Cruz, myself, and Jan Lauren that made up the Tongpai, the Chuanpai, and One Hop Kyoto section under Kajukenpo. Kajukenpo was a style.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
All these other words, the Kempo Karate, Tongpai, Chuanpai, and One Hop Kyoto, were, Kajukenpo was the system. Let me get that back.
Yes.
That's the system. Okay? Then when you have the Tongpai, the Kempo Karate, Chuanfa, and One Hop Kyoto, that's considered the style. That was the style. Okay? Now, like Eric, he's teaching Kajukenpo system, One Hop Kyoto style, but Eric Z's method. That's his method.
That's his
and
interpretation.
And the student that learns, it becomes his expression. So it's always going to be, because none of the expression is going to look all the way up like the other. I mean, if we did that, then martial arts has failed.
I look at Great Grand Master Emperado, and then I look at Great Grand Master Professor Chow, because I was a young student of Kajukenpo then, but I was the first generation student of Ed Parker, and I was also a first generation student of Ralph Castro. But what I took away from Kajukenpo, and what I took away from at the time Professor Chow, was that he wanted the arts to metamorphosize and to keep changing and go through its evolution. Am I correct?
True.
And so you took Kajukenpo and then
Layered it.
with Un Hap Kundo.
But it had to go through a process. It actually went up. It actually went to Kajukenpo, Kempo Karate, Kajukenpo Tongpai, Kajukenpo Chuanfa, Kajukenpo One Hop. It had to go through the phase because it was already going into a different makeup. The point that when we went to the Kajukenpo One Hop Kyoto, our philosophy was using that everything was very practical, and we utilized more of the technical fighting principles than any one of these other groups. And everything that we did was just that. One Hop Kyoto, if I were to take away all the original Kajukenpo techniques, like 1 to 21, and you went through all that, we stand alone. We can stand alone. But I know where I came from. So my recognition is always to give thanks to where I came from.
You're paying homage to the roots.
Right.
And that's why I'm part of KOA, Kajukenpo Ohana Association, and the tagline for that is back to the roots.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What was your biggest epiphany or your aha moment during your illustrious career?
That's pretty hard. I mean, because almost everyone is going to be aha. Because that's the point that you go, that it's like you take a step, aha, take another step, aha, aha. And if there was no aha, then I'd just be in one place. But I have a lot of ahas and also a lot of holes too to fall in.
So finish this sentence for me in closing. I remember when.
Well, I remember when I did my form and my pants fell down to my knees.
And where was this?
Stockton, California, in the tournament.
Oh,
We had the Kung Fu pants when we did this, right? I went up into a Silam kick. By the time I came down, it was down till here. Okay? The only thing that you had underneath was my jock strap. you know. And I just kind of played around. I just did my form completely. I just put it on. I go, afterwards, it was kind of embarrassing. But, you know, I kind of look at it and I say, you know, in a fight, when your pants come down, what are you going to do? You got to continue on.
That's it. And I have an inkling that that tournament was the Captain Weber Days Championships at the Stockton Civic Auditorium.
Oh, you know what? Whatever name you called it, it was still like a. I mean, it was like to me, it was like a Walt Disney thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was like, okay, time to get out of here, man.
But you know, Grand Master, I think that was your aha moment. Your
Perhaps.
pants dropped and you finished.
Yeah, I would say that yeah. I mean, you know, life brings a lot of, you know, surprises, you know, and I tell you, every surprise that has come along, I've always managed to turn it into something, you know, good.
That's it. And, you know, I want to thank you. I want to say mahalo nui loa for your time and for being inspiration to me and to my generations and the generations to follow. And the name of your book will be...
Oh, well, that's actually 2 books, okay?
Number one will be...
Okay. My first book is just about Don. It's called The Dacascos Dynasty. It was originally called The Dacascos Dynasty, Lives and Wives. But that don't go good. So I changed it to The Dacascos Dynasties in the Eyes of a Warrior. Okay? That's one book. The second book is The Evolution of Kajukenpo, Revelation to Revolution.
And we're going to be looking for that on Amazon.com.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
You're welcome. Hallelujah.
Aloha no auli, he lili paha ko